All right, so tulips or roses?
Roses.
What's the soundtrack to your gardening day?
90s hip hop.
Which plant would you take with you if you had to move tomorrow?
My little hottie hydrangea.
First thing you do in the garden each morning?
Cry. Hey, I'm Skye. I can't wait to show you my garden. Since I was a little girl, I just loved things like Anne of Green Gables, Secret Garden, and the storybook life. For me, flowers, gardening, that creates the atmosphere that I wanted to live in. Being able to come home to something that I've built myself for the people that get to come over, for my family, for my kids to grow up in. I didn't grow up gardening. My mom doesn't garden. My grandma doesn't garden. And so this was all self-taught. And I'm like, I'm just going to figure this out because this is the life that I want to live. And if that means that I have to do it myself, then that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's start again then.
Okay.
Okay.
Boxwoods or hydrangeas?
To me, they go hand in hand.
All right, structured beds or wild meadows?
Structured beds.
Compost heap or a clean slate?
Compost heap.
Last thing you do before heading in at night?
Drink out of the hose. I just took baby steps, started with little pots, then put a few things out in the backyard, and then, here we are. And I'm still learning something new every single day in the garden. There's no such thing as a green thumb. You have no idea how many plants I've killed. It's all trial and error and hard work. But really, until we bought this property, that's when it kind of exploded, when I had a lot of opportunity to just really start fresh, start from the exact vision I had in my head when we bought the house. And so it's just been like every year adding a little bit here, a little bit there to kind of create this like dreamscape that we now get to enjoy. I call my house sort of a mullet because it's all business in the front, party in the back. The front of my house is very much my outward style, my personal aesthetic, how I dress, how I decorate. Design and art are so intertwined, and gardening really is, to me, an art form. Color schemes, scale, layers, changes something from just looking very basic to something a little spectacular. This is very, very traditional. This is a lot of lines, but because the layers and the different textures, it really does create a cohesive look with the fluffy hydrangeas in the back, the structure that the boxwood provides, and then sort of the whimsy of the hanging baskets and containers. You get the structure and then also something thrown in that's a little bit different that makes it a little more fun. And I love doing that. It's basically, to me, the equivalent of a white button-up shirt and jeans. This is a little bit more monochromatic, classic, but in the back, it really kind of is art and color come to life. Yes, I love hydrangeas, but I love so many other plants as well. And so I really like giving them each kind of their standout moment. And that's really what all of these layers have kind of allowed me to do. I've definitely tried to put in very much anchor plants that give full season interest, and I love that it gives me a new thing to look at, a new thing to marvel over. Certain plants really have their moment in the spotlight during each season, and that's really what I wanted to capture because I first saw a reel that Little Hottie was coming out, and I was super excited because I really wanted something that would be good for the front of the border. So many panicle hydrangeas are so ginormous and they are beautiful, but one, they're pretty late bloomers and they really have to be either middle or back of the layering. And I really wanted something that would be white for longer. And let me tell you, it has not disappointed. It is something, I preach it to every person that I meet. You must have a Little Hottie in your life because they're just no fail. You can put it anywhere. You can put it in a hedge, in a border. You can pop it in somewhere, and heat tolerance in this high desert climate, it is something that we really do struggle with. So it's still better than 90% of hydrangeas. And so it's one of my all-time favorite hydrangeas. Couldn't live without it.
If you could invite any famous gardener or designer to visit, who would it be?
Martha Stewart.
If your pets could talk, what would they say about your garden?
Why won't you let us in more?
What's your go-to garden shoe? Sneakers, clogs, or barefoot?
Flip-flops.
If you could only grow one color in the garden, what would it be?
White. It's so funny. This is my cutting garden, and I built it specifically so that I could cut flowers to do arrangements and host. And it's so pretty. I actually have the hardest time cutting out here. The nice thing about a garden like this, where it's just so whimsical and crazy, it doesn't really matter. It all can just be whatever it is. And I just don't think that there's mistakes. You just kind of go with it. It lends itself to this very kind of whimsical side of my nature that is a lot more silly than the front. My actual personality is a lot more crazy. And so this is probably more my actual personality. And I had this whole idea that I would come out here with a basket and like a summer dress, and I would be cutting flowers and creating these beautiful space. And really 90% of the time I am in my bathrobe, and flip-flops, and I'm just kind of going crazy. I was out here last night picking tomatoes in the dark with my phone flashlight, trying to get some tomatoes because I wanted it on my pizza at 10 o'clock last night. So that's really what ends up happening here, but it definitely serves its purpose. I love the look of it. I love that it's one of the first things that people see when they drive up my driveway. And so it's just like a fun reflection of a side of me that doesn't really get seen from the front of the house. So I feel like this garden was kind of like a second child. Like your first child, you're like, oh my gosh, I got this. I'm such the expert. They turned out so perfect. And then your second child comes along and you're like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. This is totally different. And that is definitely cut flower garden, vegetable garden is so different than the landscape. Every year you just learn something else and it'll get better the next year. And it's good to have a humbling space. It's good to have a humbling second child, and it's good to have a humbling space in your garden so that you're just ever learning. So I was planting a really giant hydrangea. It was like a 15-gallon hydrangea, and I dug the big hole and I was trying to drag it in because I was like, oh, I can do this myself. I'm not going to ask for help. And I lost my balance and I fell in the hole, literally both legs up in the air, looking up at the sky, this is my life. The most insane thing, getting stuck in that giant hydrangea hole. The things we do for our passion. Okay, well.
Is there a dream plant or tree that you're still waiting to grow?
Yes, a weeping willow. I know they're messy and everyone hates them, but I find them to be just so romantic. I would love a weeping willow.
Which plant do you admire from afar but can never quite master?
Oh, that's so tough. Lilac. I don't know.
What's one gardening lesson you'd love to pass down?
Talked about this earlier, but definitely there's no such thing as a green thumb. If you are not willing to put in the work, don't expect the results. Honestly, it feels like a pinch me moment. It feels like, how did I get here? How am I living in my dream home? Curating something from a seed, bringing it into fruition, or buying a small plant and seeing it just become part of this amazing landscape. I mean, I have planted every single plant that you see, and that's kind of amazing. I put them in 10 years ago, and so to be able to every year see them come back new and different every year, depending on the summer and the climate, it's just it feels really cool and special. Thank you so much for coming on this garden tour with me. You can follow me at Hamilton House Designs on all platforms, and I'll see you later.